Hello, and thank you for joining Cintu's webinar today. We will be discussing our new asset tagging and display feature and showing you how you can use asset tagging in your as-built using your reality capture and digital twin workflows. Just a couple housekeeping rules. This webinar will be recorded for future use. And if you have questions, please type those into the Q&A panel and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. So for today's agenda, first we will show a brief overview of Cintu, the visual twin platform. And then we will dive into our new asset tagging and display tool, followed up by live demos. And then we will talk about what's coming next, what's on the horizon. Following that, we will then end the session with questions and answers. Today's speakers will be Stephen Tan, who is our Customer Success Manager, Joao Fialho, who is another one of Cintu's Customer Success Managers, and Dominique Poulikin, who is the CEO and Product Manager at Cintu. So now I would like to turn it over to Dominique Poulikin.
Thank you, Rob. I'm guessing that everybody today is familiar with this concept of digital twins. Digital twins are supposed to be virtual replica of your as-built spaces. Those digital twins will be used to run some prototyping, what-if scenarios, to do some simulations, to manage globally your assets. The big challenge that we're facing in the industry we live in is that our as-built spaces are made of very complex shapes. So getting a virtual replica that is accurate enough is a big challenge. And we solve this challenge by using reality capture technologies. The reality capture technologies is made of various devices using various sensors, being active laser scanners or passive cameras. But depending on which use case you have, you may use different devices. The point is that there is no single device that will meet all the expectations, all the requirements. In most cases, though, people will use a laser scanner, being terrestrial laser scanner or mobile or handheld laser scanners. The point with laser scanning is that it generates a very accurate and trustful point cloud, but this data is usually very massive, so it's very difficult to share and collaborate on this data. And this is a challenge we have solved with Cintu. Cintu uses a very core technology that will take your 3D point cloud and that will turn it into a very high resolution 3D mesh at the resolution of your scan. And by doing this point cloud to mesh transformation, we do compress the data in a ratio of 10 to 20 times, and we can easily upload this data to the cloud and then easily stream those high-resolution meshes in WebGL browsers. The point about this core technology is that so accurate, the mesh that we do produce is so accurate that we can retrieve back the source point cloud by doing the inverse transformation from mesh to a point cloud, in case you need a point cloud to do scan-to-beam operation in Revit, for example. So this core technology is embedded inside Cintu. Cintu is a SaaS platform that will make your laser scan fully cloud compatible and accessible from anywhere at any time. Cintu is hardware agnostic. You can bring in terrestrial scans, mobile scans, handheld scans, or even drone data. Cintu features a lot of set of tools like measurement tools, annotation tools. Also, you can bring in your CAD or BIM models, do comparisons. There are a lot of features inside Cintu, as you will see today. Cintu runs exclusively on Amazon or Azure. The user even has the possibility to select per project the region where the data will be hosted on either Amazon or Azure data centers. As a company, we are SOC 2 Type 2 certified, which means that we are at the highest level of cybersecurity standards for SaaS platforms. So Cintu platform is really about taking all kinds of data, being reality capture data, but also BIM and CAD models, 2D drawings, on all kinds of documentation or business data, make it a reference source of truth to deliver various use cases, being BIM and scan comparisons, QA/QC progress monitoring, but also engineering scan to BIM, asset management on asset tagging for predictive maintenance, but also 3D simulation on metaverse experiences, up to remote on infill operations. We call Cintu now the visual twin platform. Why visual twin? Because visualization is key for everything you do in your operations. And platform, because this platform is open via APIs, and this is key for getting the interoperability with all your other digital twin platforms and ecosystem. Cintu is being used by more than 400, close to 450 companies in 43 countries. They have uploaded close to 4 million scans to the platform. Really a big sign of scalability and robustness over the last 4 years. So what about asset tagging and display, which is the main topic of this webinar? Asset management is one of the key workflows that are enabled by Cintu. Our goal is to bring the as-built conditions in your asset management workflows by interconnecting Cintu with the various other platforms that make your asset management possible and efficient. Why bring the as-built conditions in these workflows? Simply because you cannot only rely on CAD or BIM models that may not be up to date or that even do not exist because your assets may be too old. So to make the right decisions when it comes to preventive maintenance, for example, you'd rather see how equipment are really set in their real life with all the context, and this is what Cintu provides. We developed inside Cintu is we added a new entity called a tag. A tag will reference an equipment with a unique ID on a bounding box. It's part of a list, has of course various metadata, mostly hyperlinks to other platforms, can be displayed inside Cintu using a 3D shader or bounding box, can be seen from multiple scan views, can be searched, can be cropped and exported in 3D. This is a feature that will come soon. And of course has a unique URL that references its scan view so that you can close the loop between your digital twin platform and Cintu. Everything is accessible via the Cintu APIs as well. So you will start in Cintu by creating a tag list. You can create as many tag lists as you want. A tag list is where you will set the various custom metadata that you need for this set of tags. You can create up to 20 metadata. You also find in Cintu now what we call the Tag Explorer. This is the access to your tag list on your tags. Once you look for a given tag, you can have various display settings. One of them being the possibility to view this tag from various scan positions. But all of this will be demonstrated to you right now by my colleague Stephen. So Stephen will show you that there are 3 ways to populate your tags inside Cintu. The first way being manual tagging, setting up yourself the bounding box and the various metadata for each tag. But also we can also populate your tags from your CAD or digital twin platform. Or you can also use our AI engine to automatically search and geolocate and classify various equipment and then create the foundations for your tagging. I will leave it now to Stephen to show you how it works inside Cintu. Stephen?
Thank you, Dominique. Hello, everyone. My name is Steven. I am a customer success manager here at Cintu, and today I'm going to be showcasing the asset tagging and display tools within the Cintu platform. This includes what the tags are, as well as how to create them using the manual-based, model-based, and AI-based tagging tools provided by Cintu. And for anyone who's not familiar with Cintu, it is a web-based platform. And today, for this project specifically, we're going to be showcasing, as shown on the left-hand side, some 2D line work, an IFC model, as well as some laser scanning data that's already been uploaded and ready for us to use. So by having this uploaded already, I can zoom in while in the 3D navigation of our 3D view. And you'll start to see more and more of our data here, all on top of a sitemap image that we've added in for additional context. But while we're in this 3D navigation, we're able to shift back and forth, zoom in and out, and fly around as we need to navigate through our data. But on top of this, I can hit scan mode to jump me to the closest scan position to my current location. So if I click on this, it jumps me to that scan position, and we are currently viewing the 2D panoramic image that was captured by our laser scanner, and we're able to jump from position to position using the 2D panoramic images. And by clicking on each individual bubble that was a setup for your laser scanning data. Moving forward, we're able to also change the way you look at your data by clicking on the display settings mode. We're going to hit 3D surface. And what we're looking at is the 3D solid surface mesh that's generated when you upload the laser scanning data into the Cintu platform. And we like to focus on this mode because it helps you distinguish the different elements you're looking at within the Cintu platform, while also helping you reduce the ambiguity of what you would typically see when you're dealing with laser scan data. So while you're in this mode, you're able to navigate similarly to the previous method as well. And on top of this, you're able to click on display settings to click on 3D RGB, which showcases a colorized version of that solid surface mesh that we were just looking at, which is done by taking the color captured by your laser scanner and overlaying it on top of that solid surface mesh. And now that we've talked a little bit more about the Cintu platform, I want to jump into the tags. But before we showcase how to create the tags using the 3 different methods, I want to showcase an example. So by clicking on the bottom left, we can open up the Tag Explorer. And this shows a list of all the tag lists that have either been created by anyone that's been invited to this project with the proper permissions. So first, let's unhide this manual tag and double click it. So what happens is it jumps you to that exact location of your tag. And we're able to showcase the details. And since this is a manual tag, this is all information that I pre-populated, including links to the specs and maintenance information for this specific tag that I can click on and open up a new browser for. This is also showcased in the properties area within the specific tag, while also letting you delete the tag, edit it, share it, set validation requirements, as well as the ability to duplicate this tag as well. Alongside this, you can hit the 3 dots. You can click on this to jump to the default view of your tag. You can hide this specific tag so you can focus on others. You can isolate it so that you can focus on this specific tag. If you click on look at, depending on where your current position is, it will show you the direction of that current tag that you selected. And then you can also hover over scan mode to showcase all of the other scan positions that have views of this tag in the nearby vicinity. So for example, if I click on scan number 40, it'll jump me to that position. And the whole point of this is so that whether you're in 3D navigation, or if you need to adjust your display setting, or you need to change the angle at which you are looking at this tag, you can change all of that and then set that as a new default view. So every time that you create or jump back to this tag, you can view it in the state that you want to see it in. So now that we showcased this example, I want to talk about the first method in how to create your first manual tag. So, for example, if we want to create tags based off of these motors here, first you will need to generate a new list. So by clicking this drop down, I'm going to hit create tag list. So this is going to create a fresh tag list for me to fill up with whatever I want. Let's call it Cintu manual tags. Let's assign it a color. And then we can provide description if necessary. And then regarding metadata, you can create up to 20 fields, which you'll see in just a second. But in this case, we'll create 3. We'll call them specification. The second one will be maintenance. And then the third one will be location. So once this is all completed, if I want to create more fields, I can add more as necessary. But if I'm happy with this, I'll hit create. And now I'll have a new tag list here available for me to view. So if I unhide this and check it off, I can click on the create tag button to create a new manual tag. Let's provide a name. We'll call it CIP motor 1. And if I hover over my data, I can zoom in and zoom out to adjust the size of this bounding box around this motor. But once I'm happy with the general capture of this, I can click on it, and then this gizmo pops up, which allows me to rotate, shift the size of my box, as well as move this box into the position I need it to be in. But once I'm happy with my bounding box, I can add in more information for the metadata. So for specification, let's copy and paste this over. And then for the maintenance, we can add in the maintenance operating manual for this. And for now, we'll leave the location blank, which will be populated later. So I'm going to hit create. And now this new tag is going to be populated within my new tag list. And if I want to create a new tag of a very similar object, instead of creating a new bounding box, I can click on the existing one, and if it's nearby, I can hit duplicate. And what I want to do is I want to shift this over to capture my other similar tag. You can adjust the bounding box in very similar ways: rotate, shift, and expand. Let's adjust this name to CIP motor 2. And since it's the same item, I'll keep the same specification and maintenance information and hit duplicate, which will now populate within the same tag as well. So this is one of the main ways to create manual tags. On top of this, if you click on the main tag list, you can actually import a CSV. So by drag and dropping this over, you can create this list. And this is the list that I created already, which includes the 2 assets that I'm interested in, CIP motor 1 and 2, including the specification and maintenance, while also adding some information regarding the location. But what you might also notice is I've added in a third asset called CIP gauge 001, its XYZ positioning, and the appropriate information for the 3 metadata columns that I'm interested in. So all I have to do is drag and drop this tag and hit import. And once that has been created, what you'll notice is that the new tag, since it has a unique name, it has been uploaded into this tag list. And if I click on the details or look at the properties, all of that information that I had in the Excel sheet has been translated into this specific tag. But something else that I want to mention is, as I go into CIP motor 1, the first tag that I created for this list, If I go into the details, anything that the Excel sheet had incorporated will allow you to update the existing tag. So I initially left this location as blank, but since the tag list had more information, it is now appended that into this specific list. So this can be very useful when you have a large list of tags in a CSV format, and you can create a large list of tags within the Cintu platform all at once. And this tool is very useful because it can be very flexible, since tags can mean very different things to very different people or companies or projects. So we keep it flexible so that you can create a tag regarding anything you might be interested in. Moving forward, I'm going to hide this so that we can talk about the next tool, which is the model-based tool. So by clicking on this Pick Models or utilizing the Resource Explorer, I'm able to create tags based off of the models that have been uploaded into the Cintu project. So first, let's use the Pick Models. It will showcase the model that's been uploaded into the platform, and when I click on this, it's going to open up the Resource Explorer to the specific element. In this case, it is called unnamed. But it allows me to create a tag based off this specific element. And all I have to do is click on create tag and now drop it into a specific tag list that's already existing. So we'll drop it into model-based tags and hit create. A second option is, while I have this Resource Explorer open, I can navigate through the model metadata hierarchy, and I can even select the entire level 2 portion of this model and create a tag off of this entire section. And now that these are created, I can go back to the Tag Explorer. I can unhide the model-based tags, and you'll see that there's unnamed. So you can create tags based off specific elements, but you can also create tags based off entire systems as well, based off your model hierarchy. And this is really good for systems like this. But for example, if you had a system of pipes modeled that you want to be tagged, it would be quite difficult to tag the entire set of pipes using the manual tagging tool. But by clicking on the entire section, you could tag your entire set of pipes all in one swoop. And one of the main benefits of using this tagging tool is because you can save a lot of time by creating tags utilizing information that's readily available by BIM. So moving forward, I'm going to hide this one to talk about the AI-based tool. So I've already populated this tag list with a few examples that we have available using our AI tool, including electric motors, flanges, manometers, and these valves. So to utilize this AI tool, all you would have to do is click on an existing list, click on AI detection, and you'll see a list of tag classes pop up, including control boxes, electric boxes, motors, flanges, manometers, and valves. This is a library of assets that we have created, and we are currently working on expanding, but this is what is readily available. And what happens is, with the data that you upload into the Cintu platform, the AI is able to reference that data and compare it to what's available in the library, and tries its best to match up the data that you have uploaded to whichever items that you check off here in this tag class list. So all you have to do is click on one of these, for example, and hit detect, let it run, and it will let you know when it's completed. So for this specific tag, I can jump into specific locations. For example, we have this electric motor here. It showcases some of the data, as well as it has a need for validation. So the AI tags will naturally come with this, and you can validate it by hitting this check mark. But one of the main benefits of using this tool is to save time by removing the manual process of having to find tags that can be very common within a project. For example, manometers, flanges, or valves can occur many times in your project. So having to manual tag each and every one of these can take a lot of time. So by letting an AI entity deal with this, you can avoid using all that time and use it for something else. So now that we've talked about the three different tools, the last thing I want to talk about is the ability to share and download these tags. So within this tag explorer, you can click on any of these tags and you can click on the share button, which showcases a link to this specific tag. If I copy and paste it, it will provide me a link to this specific tag in its default view. But before I do that, you can also showcase this in the data tab. So within the data tab, I can find a list of tags. I can either click on this to click on a specific tag, or I can export the entire list. So for electric motors, I can download this entire list. If I open it up, it will include information, including the ID, the position, as well as the specific link to this position. So if I go back to my browser, I can copy and paste this. And if I hit enter, you'll see that it'll jump me straight back to this electric motor position. And this can be used to share or export to share with your teammates, or to populate a digital twin model with this information. That is everything that I want to share regarding the asset tag and display features within the Cintu platform. Now I want to hand this presentation off to Joao to talk a little bit more about the drone data within Cintu.
Hello, I'm João Carlos Pereira Fiallo. I'm CSM at Cintu. So here I will show you that even with drone data, so in this case it's a project from Cap 3000 Commercial Center in southeastern France, in Nice. They capture the inside of the commercial center using terrestrial scans, but for the roof they use a drone, and they have uploaded all the data there, and we create some tags manually for the equipments that are located on the roof. So you can access the list of the tags here and have information about them. But another way to search about the tags is here in the search bar. You can type the first letters and it will show you the different tags that are matching the search, and then you can access directly here playing with Play 3D. So here what you are seeing is the drone capture from the roof, and you see that there is hundreds of different equipments here on the roof, technical equipments, so for HVAC and electrical and whatever. So here in the list of equipments, we made several tags manually at the moment, and in this case, for example, this one, we had some information here about the brand, the model, the power, the fluid, but also some documentation, and you can have also a link to your maintenance system or to your EDMS system. So here we can effectively navigate from one to the other equipment with all the information. And here, once again, it's based on a drone capture only. that is enough to make the tags here. So that's all for me. It was just to show you that as Cintu is agnostic, we can use the asset tagging and display module also with drone data. So that's all. Thank you.
So thank you, Joao. Thank you, Steven, for these cool demos. I'd like to come back on one or two workflows. One that has not been explained really in a live demo is this possibility to populate your tags from a CAD model. So by giving a list in a CSV file, for example, a list of tags coming from a CAD model like Navisworks, and also by uploading the Navisworks model into Cintu, Cintu can automatically extract the bounding boxes from the CAD model and use that as a bounding box for the scan data, provided that, of course, that the scan and the model are very well aligned all together. So this is another workflow allowing to also upload complex tags like pipes that are made of sub tags. If you're interested by such workflow, let us know. Also, what I would like to come back on is this AI engine that Steven has been showing to you today. This is our AI engine that we have been working on for about 2 to 3 years now. It's a typical machine learning engine. So we teach the machine learning engine to look for certain equipment in scan data. This starts by manual tagging such equipment on at least 500 times per equipment per class. So it's a pretty long process. We need the customer data to do that. This is a manual process that the Cintu team will be performing for you. And then once it's implemented, the engine will be able to search for this equipment automatically, define the geolocation and a classification. So we know if it's a pump, we know it's a valve. These are the foundations you need to start tagging those equipment. You still need to provide the ID and the links to your databases or digital twins. So there is still a manual process after this automatic search. What we have today in our library are those type of equipment, like you see on the screen: pumps and valves, actuators, gauges, etc., electric boxes. And we are always looking for new classes to add to this library. So if you're interested, let us know. We can discuss that. Another workflow that I'd like to show today, it's the possibility to use Cintu for comparing your as-built conditions to your digital twin model or scan on CAD comparison. This is one of the many use cases that are enabled by using Cintu. So this is how it works on a small project. Here we have a Navisworks model that we uploaded from Autodesk Construction Cloud. You can also upload other models from the disk and other formats from ACC directly. And when we bring this CAD model or those BIM models, it comes with the full disciplines, the full hierarchy, and the full metadata, as you would get in any BIM viewer or CAD viewer. So you can see here we have access to all the hierarchy and metadata. You can also see all the properties for each one of the model elements. Now let's bring in the scan data. So there is a perfect alignment here between scan and BIM. On what you can do, let me switch first to a 3D surface. What you can do is use a pick model. So in which case there will be the model element being displayed only, and you can select any model element. It will automatically list it in the Model Explorer, and you can have the properties here being listed for this model element. Then here you have various display settings. You can go to the parent model element and isolate it from the rest of the CAD and do a lot of stuff. But let me bring back the full CAD model. And then what I will activate next is what we call the comparison tool. Here I select to compare, scan, and model. And the first tool you have is a visual check tool. By putting the slider on the left-hand side, as I just did, you see the existing condition as a mesh model. Of course, you can navigate in 3D, full 3D as well. Here we use our Turbo Mesh engine, which has the same mesh resolution as the source scanner or each scan location. Let me go back to one of the scan location. If I put a slider to the right, then you will see the BIM model or the CAD model from the exact same vantage point. Now I can activate the visual diff tool where we automatically create a heat map based on the differences between the CAD and the CAD on the scan data. Everything green is a good match between scan and CAD. Everything red is data that does not exist in the BIM model. Like you see, for example, those big tubes here or whatever do not exist in the BIM model. So by activating this visual diff comparison tool, you can detect issues. For example, here from this vantage point, you will see here that this pipe is red on about 2 inches, which because you see that the actual pipe in the real life is not exactly where the model pipe is. Okay, and this could be a big issue for any new design or simulation that you may have to do. So what next step will be to document this issue. So I create an annotation here, click on this 3D model element, say it's an issue, add various metadata. This one I call it to be adjusted in CAD, add a severity parameter, add a due date eventually, various filters you can have also. You can also assign it to a team member that has the right permissions to do that. And this is what you will do. On the next stage will be to report those issues either in a PDF file or in a BCF file. So this is a PDF version of it. Everything in this PDF is clickable and will take you back to the Cintu platform. BCF means BIM collaboration format, is an XML file, or you can also cloud connect to other BIM coordination platform like Autodesk, BIMtrack, or Procore. Next stage would be for the person in charge of modeling to go back to the issue on maybe what he or she will need to do is download a piece of scanned data to model from the exact conditions, the exact as-built conditions. So let me move to the 3D surface and let me activate the crop tool. The crop tool will allow you to create a crop, to have a small piece of the scan data, because you don't need to bring the whole point cloud to do this modification in your CAD. Okay, just a small piece of the scan data will make it, and of course everything will be geolocated. So I'm using here the sliders for the crop tool. You may also use the gizmo. I personally prefer to use a slider. And you can view this crop from a scan position or in 3D navigation, as we see here, and then you can adjust your crop as much as you need. The point is that once you have created a crop, you can download this information and either save it first, but then create either a mesh, as you would see here. You can create a piece of mesh here with an OBJ, FBX, or STL format. Or you can also download it and turn it back into a point cloud, a small point cloud that would be either using our Cintu Connect, would be either a 57 or POD or our Autodesk RCS file. So this is how you will get this piece of scan data in your CAD modeling software, so you can adjust your CAD or your digital twin to the existing conditions. Just a few minutes about what is coming next for asset tagging on display with Cintu. The next big move for us will be to add 3D labels, of course, in the 3D view. So be able to see the ID of the equipment and probably some other metadata directly inside the 3D view. And those labels will be clickable, of course. Another big move for us will be on the automatic pipe detection and measurement. So you see in this example, we have searched automatically for those pipes, and we could detect all those pipes with our AI engine. And then it's now becomes much easier to tag those pipes, and eventually by adding a few tools like being able to aggregate various tags in a single tag, being able to create complex tags like the ones you need for those pipes in those complex environments. Also, you will see this one coming sooner. It's a pipe measurement tool that runs in real time in the WebGL viewer. So automatically we will create the pipe diameter on axis, and you can of course store this information inside Cintu. And the last piece of information for me today will be to tell you about these new partnerships that we just got with those companies in the US, Argentina, and Germany. Those partners and resellers are here to help you with Cintu, do the implementation, but also help you with the tagging eventually if you need some services to tag your own assets. And so if you're interested in being contacted by those companies, let us know. That's it for today. I know it's a lot of information. We probably have a few questions. Rob?
Yep. Thank you, Dominique. So yeah, there's several questions. I know Joao has been doing a good job of answering a lot of these online. But let's just start with a couple that we haven't answered yet. So the first question is, can these tags be exported?
Rob?
Yeah, can you not hear me?
Yeah, no, sorry, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, so one of the questions is, can these tags be exported and compatible with any operations management tool such as SDX or Maximo or Siemens?
Yes, definitely. The whole point of this asset tagging tools is to create, links with other platforms or databases. So, but being able to go back and forth. Okay, so by the goal, as Steven showed you, you can export, the list of tags or each tag individually, and the list of tags will come with the ID, the exact geolocation, and a link, a hyperlink to the Cintu platform. Okay, so if you upload this Excel file in your CAD model, digital twin model, other platforms, or then you can click on those links, and that will open, the Cintu platform. We also provide a shared viewer that you can embed. So there is a Cintu viewer that you can embed in an iframe in your portal, or so many customers have done this integration already. So it's not about only having another window opening. It's also being integrated in your digital twin portal if you want.
Great, thank you. I'm just going to summarize here. There's been several questions around tags and the metadata, what fields you can put in. I just want to start off by saying that the whole idea around asset tagging and display is really to make the data schema yours. We didn't want to come up with a data schema and force you to use it because there's so many different digital twin platforms out there and there's so many different use cases. So what we've done on the metadata is you can have 20 different fields that you can completely customize to match your workflows to your digital twin platforms. That's really the sole purpose. Like I said, we want to make sure that we're very agnostic and can connect to pretty much any digital twin platform out there. Dominique, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to add to that, because there's been questions like, will this connect to this specific digital twin platforms or a SQL database? Anything else you would like to add to that, Dom?
No, anything you put in this custom metadata can be alphanumeric characters, can be numbers, can be whatever, or can be hyperlinks. And so eventually one tag can be linked 20 times to 20 different platforms eventually. So it's very, very open. As you said, we have a very open tag data model. If by any chance there is something missing, please let us know, okay? we believe that this is what you need, but eventually let us know if there is something we're missing here.
Great. Let's see here. I don't know if this is really digital twin related, but just a quick question. Any plans to automate clash detection and generate a list instead of doing it manually?
Yes, of course, of course. This is a big move for us in the next few months. It's to do some automatic progress monitoring that will automatically, detect those differences based on various thresholds. Will give you a few quantitative information and also qualitative information. Is this piece of my BIM model element has it been built, to which percentage, and how far off is it from the design between the design and the as-built. So definitely there is a lot coming in this field. But yeah, be a little patient. We need a few more months to implement all of this. We already did some proof of concepts with some customers. If someone is interested, let us know.
Great, thank you. Another question was around being able to capture the tag number or the tab description from the 360 panels that are out in the field.
Yeah, no, this is a good question. Of course, anything that we can do to automate the tagging will be helpful. We have got our research team has started working on some OCR implementation to be able to read labels when there are labels in the bounding box or around the bounding box, so that we can eventually you can assign the ID right from the information on those labels. Okay, so it's pretty, it's not very, I'd say just on implementation, it's not so innovative, I would say, but we have to make it robust. Being robust is always a challenge, but we already did some proof of concept as well. So if anybody is interested, let us know.
Okay, another one here. Does the Revit enabled tags include Revit element ID in the metadata?
I must say I don't know the answer to this one. Does Joao or Steven have more information?
Yes, I can answer no. Not at the moment, but as you see, when you select one object from the 3D model, there is, of course, the ID and the information from the 3D model object. We didn't link this information, but it could be as a metadata. It's just a question of reading and linking into the tag metadata, but not yet.
Great. I'm just looking at a couple more here. Are you able to make coordinate or unit transformations within the Cintu environment? So basically, can you put it on a specific coordinate system?
What we can do today inside Cintu is a possibility to align your scans to the model or the model to the scans, eventually, because they may not be aligned. So we have a few tools to do that, and people like it, so it's efficient. But we cannot change the coordinate system yet. Okay, so This is something we have on the roadmap for 2024.
And I think an important thing to note here, because we get this question quite a bit, is I think it's imperative for any large site that you have some type of survey control set up. That way, during the registration process, you can have all your scan data on that control, as well as when you're doing your modeling, it should use that same control system. That way, everything comes in perfectly aligned and there's no issues. It seems that when you come back afterwards and try to make things match up, that's where errors occur. So I would highly recommend before you start any project to make sure you use some type of survey control to get things started off with. So here's one other one, and probably wrap it up with this one. Do we have the possibility of replacing equipment with new ones directly on the Cintu platform? Or do we have to go through bringing it through importing a new model?
So there's some possibilities inside Cintu. You can upload models or CAD models in various formats. What we are working on, to be honest, and it's not completely there yet, is a possibility to clip in or out So that means when you have these bounding boxes, being able to remove the inside of the bounding box. Today we keep the inside, and be able to replace that by a model element that you can then manually align to your scans. So this few sets of tools is under development. Give us a few months more, you will get that. Yes.
Great, thank you. Well, I think that's the majority of the questions answered here. Feel free to send us more questions you may have. You can go to cintu.com and hit contact us. Be more than happy to get back with you on that. Also, this webinar has been recorded, so we will send out a link to everyone, even those who did not attend, so it will be available for you. And we will also post this on our website, so that way you can go back and review it or share with others. With that, we would like to thank you for your time today. Like I said, any questions, please feel free to contact us. And again, thank you for your time. Thank you, everyone.